Awesome. Hey, folks. Welcome to another developer contest kickoff webinar. Excited to be here, excited to be doing this again and to get to chat about our new contest and topic. I'll go ahead and share my screen. Amazing, amazing. Okay. So, like I said, welcome. Another developer contest from us here at InterSystems, and this time the topic is external languages. I'm personally very curious about this topic. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how you all in the community tackle working in an external environment and plugging into IRIS using some of our external language SDKs and various things. I think unlike some of our other contest topics, this gives you a little bit more freedom, right? We're not really giving any prescription on what part of our technology you need to use or kind of what to build. It's very open. So I'm excited to see what you all build. I'll go ahead and just dive into some of the basics, go over some of the stuff that we cover every time, and then we can get into our guest speaker here, Raj, who can talk a little bit more about the impetus behind this topic and some of the things he's looking for. So the contest is going to be running from September 22nd, which is technically a couple days ago, but I hope most of you haven't gotten too much of a head start. So it's running now. It's now active. We're accepting submissions, and it's going to run until October 12th. So you have a couple of weeks to build and improve and work on your submissions here. The topic, like I said, external languages. So what that really means is that we want to see applications that showcase using IRIS with these external languages and connecting to them or connecting to IRIS in ways that demonstrate flexibility and power and an app that is going to be able to leverage IRIS without necessarily being written in ObjectScript or another embedded language. We list here .NET, Java, Python, and JavaScript. Those are not by any means the only languages out there, as you all know, but those are some of the most common, and those are the ones that we have kind of the best developer tooling. Super quick note, this is a question that I think is down in the comments. It was answered really well. Python, because this is an external languages contest, if you're using Python, we'd love to see it as an external implementation, not using embedded Python, but using PEX or some other kind of external framework here. Anyway, all that aside, the general requirements here are pretty much the same as they've always been. This application's got to be fully functional. You can't just kind of import a direct interface or something that kind of already exists. We accept new applications, so if it's completely new to OpenExchange, great. If it's an existing one that you've kind of made significant improvements, you use the contest as a good excuse to return to an old project and make it something new. That's also great. Obviously, our team is going to review all of these. The application should work with IRIS community or IRIS for Health community. This is mostly just to keep it open source, make it accessible for folks who are going to get to use it and work with it. This can be downloaded in a container, right? This can be through Docker. This can be downloaded locally for our evaluation kit. The form doesn't matter so much as just the fact that it's the community edition. You should keep everything open source. We want to publish this on GitHub or GitLab. This is a contest where we hope anybody and everybody can take a look at your submissions and get some value out of them. So everything's open source. You got to have a README file, and the README to the application should be in English. And ideally, it should have all of the installation steps, a video demo, or other description of how it works. Really keep in mind kind of the user experience of these for somebody who maybe wasn't involved in building it. I know that's something that I I haven't built any of your apps, so it helps me to be a judge as well. And then finally, you can submit multiple times. So if you just have a ton of amazing ideas, please feel free to create multiple submissions. But we ask that there's only 3 per developer or team of developers. Awesome. Prizes here. We have both our expert nomination and our community winners as usual. On the expert nomination, first place received $5,000, second $2,500, third $1,000, fourth $500, and then they continue going down from there. What I think is really important to highlight here is that there's a $12,000 prize pool. There's something to win even if you are not on the podium, so to speak, right? So definitely put your best foot forward here, but there's a lot of prizes for all levels of engagement here. That's our experts nomination. That's a panel of us here at InterSystems and other community experts. And then the community winners, the prize pool is a little bit smaller, but these are purely based on community votes. So this is your opportunity to pick your best, your favorite submissions here, and vote to earn either additional prizes, or I don't know how often we've seen community winners be completely different than the experts winners, but it's theoretically possible. So find your favorite apps here, and go ahead and vote for them. Some basic stuff about cash prizes and folks with the same number of votes. Really, at the end of the day, our panel of experts is going to kind of figure out any of the specifics of votes that are the same, or verification of folks. In terms of participation, so anybody in the developer community, we cannot participate. Sorry, Raj. Employees of InterSystems are not allowed to submit, but anybody else can, and you can team up. So developers, you don't have to be solo here if you would like. Up to 5 folks on a team can get together and create submissions. And I would just ask, if you are teaming up, if you're getting together with other community members, or you have a handful of folks building something, please make sure you highlight everybody in your README, just with your DC user profiles. That way we know everybody who worked together on the same team. Awesome. So that's mostly stuff you've heard before from me. But just to reiterate a couple important deadlines, the contest has begun already. So September 22nd was technically when it started, but it is now going. It is now ongoing. So please feel free to build, submit, get started. The deadline for submissions is going to be October 5th. That is when we are saying no more submissions accepted. That's when the voting period will begin. Our panel of experts is going to start on the 6th, taking a look, testing, working with these things, and then voting. The voting period will be over on October 12th. So your period to work and submit is from right now, today, up until October 5th. And if you do submit and then you have minor tweaks or changes or improvements or something, it is possible, we say here, you can update things during the voting period. So if it's October 7th and you realize, oh, I missed this totally important feature that's just this small change or something, you're able to update. You're able to continue improving the app. But I would recommend not doing that too late in the process, because as we vote on these submissions, you don't want to make changes after the voting period is complete. Awesome. So helpful resources here. There's a bunch of documentation related to a lot of these external languages and the frameworks and things that we have to support them. I'm not going to read through all of these specifically, but the documentation section is really great for kind of foundational information on this. Even larger and honestly pretty impressive is our list of example applications. So these are things that already exist in OpenExchange. Some of them are templates, some of them are demos, some of them are just applications that folks have made using external languages, but all of them are valuable as examples. So if you are imagining, you have an idea for a project, something that you're really interested in submitting, but you're like, darn, I wish I knew a little bit more about Fast API and the implementation on IRIS. Boom, we have an example template right here. You can work from it, you can use it as inspiration, but definitely check out these example applications for some prior work. And then if you are new, if this is your first time in a contest or even your first time hearing about IRIS, we also have some beginner information and documentation on working with IRIS, building on IRIS, using IPM, and even just how to submit to the contest. So that's pretty much all I have here for the contest itself. I'm going to shift over to the technology bonuses real quick, which should only take me 1 second. Cool. So bonuses, right? I'll repeat here, if this is your first time on one of these webinars, if this is your first time working on a contest, an InterSystems developer contest, we have point bonuses for various aspects of the topic. And here we have a big list primarily related to leveraging technologies related to these external languages. The top one here, right, we have a native SDK for a lot of these languages. There's a PEX interoperability framework that is very valuable for building interoperability solutions, and a handful of other technologies. So you're going to earn somewhere between 2 and 3 points for using any one of these technologies. In addition to that, we have some of our more traditional technology bonuses. So if you have an online demo that you record and post to the community, you can earn a couple of points. If your solution or your submission tackles a community idea, so if you pop into our ideas portal and you find an idea that is marked community opportunity, you can implement that and you can earn a whole 4 points for that. And then even finding bugs could also earn you some points. One thing that's kind of curious about this contest is that normally for our bug finding points, we offer 2 points a single time because we want you to actually implement something new and work on it. We don't want you to just work on finding bugs, but we do specify here that we'll offer 2 points for a bug in any specific language. So if you manage to implement a solution that requires using Python and Java and you find a bug in each, you could possibly earn some extra points there. And then for first timers, we have some bonus points, videos on YouTube, community articles in the developer community. All of these things could earn you extra points. So I'll go ahead and link to this. This is linked in the webinar community post as well. So check it out if you're looking for inspiration, ways to maybe earn some extra points as you're building your solution. Awesome. So that's pretty much everything you need to know to participate in the contest. I'm going to go ahead and kick it over real quick to Raj, who's our guest speaker. Raj, do you mind talking a little bit about external language development on IRIS and some of the inspiration for these folks who are building?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Sure. Yeah. So, like I said, this is a non-object contest, which is always really interesting because, especially more and more, we hear from prospects and interested development teams that they are, looking for pure Python or pure Java solutions, especially in the economy today. Kind of easier to hire up a Java team or spin up a new one or outsource a project where it's using an HTML language. So this kind of project is always really exciting. In addition to, we've done this contest many times, right? Almost every year or every other year. But in 2025, it's particularly interesting because we now have a lot of our libraries in mainstream distribution repos. So when you want to get our Python libraries, you just go to PyPy or Maven for Java, and NuGet for .NET, and you just go. So not only is that a common place to get it, it helps you with managing all your dependencies with other projects as well, other libraries. So make sure to get your downloads from those places instead of the old downloads. Looks like I might not be sounding so loud.
Yeah.
So hopefully you can hear me.
Yeah, go ahead, Raj. I think you're picking up a little louder now, but I think your volume is low for some folks.
Okay. So another new development in 2025 is our recent improvements to DB API and SQL Alchemy, and I think that would be a really interesting place to work. Forever, we've talked about IRIS being a great object-oriented database, so it makes a lot of sense to match that up with a great object or class-oriented library like SQL Alchemy. So very interesting to see any work people do there to make programming seamless between the database and the programming language, which we've always done with ObjectScript. Love to see some more SQL Alchemy Python-based work in that area. And finally, I'd like to point out some new documentation that was created this summer by a summer intern in the Python area, which we'll get that link posted, but we have a experiment to create documentation which is much more task-oriented, journey-oriented. And so we have some new ways to learn about Streamlit, Flask, and Jupyter Notebooks doing Python work. And that's something you'll be able to take advantage of as well. So, as usual, one of the most exciting competitions of the year, and match up all that use of excitement and energy with some of these new tools we have available to hopefully allow you to do more faster.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I've personally used the SQL Alchemy drivers in some personal projects, and for some RAG tutorial work that I've helped with. I've also used Streamlit. It's pretty remarkable. It makes for a really great experience building these Python apps. So love to hear the work there. Great inspiration for y'all on the call too. You don't have to do what Raj says, of course, but some good ideas on ways to develop things that are going to be really powerful and hopefully a really excellent developer experience. So I look forward to all your submissions. I'm excited to get to look at Java again, frankly. It's something earlier in my career that I haven't really seen a lot of apps written in Java recently. So maybe there's my plug. But yeah, great. I'll go ahead and call it there, I think, just as a reminder of the dates here. Contest has started already. Right now, today, it's open, and submissions close on October 5th. So that's just your timeline there. Voting will go from the 6th until the 12th, and then after that, we will announce the winners. So thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you, Raj, for hopping on and being our expert panelists here. And with that, I'll leave you all. Thanks.